I was standing in the parking lot at the base of the Space Needle in Seattle. I had long hair like Warren's wardrobe. Warren wanted me to wear a beige trench coat so nobody would think I was him. Suddenly, somebody walked up behind me and threw their arms around me. I spun around, face to face with the blue eyes of Julie Christie from Dr. Zhivago. She instantly realized I wasn't Warren. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," she said. I was speechless. She and Warren had first worked together on McCabe and Mrs. Miller. I always thought they were the perfect Hollywood couple, if there was such a thing. I worked with her a couple of times after that on Shampoo and Heaven Can Wait. She was always such a beautiful woman, and such a class act. Parallax was a political thriller. It was directed by Alan Pakula, who directed To Kill a Mockingbird. He also directed Sophie's Choice, Clute, Comes a Horseman, All the President's Men, and a dozen more. The director of photography was Gordon Willis, who shot Clute, Comes a Horseman, and All the President's Men with Alan, as well as so many other classics like Annie Hall and The Godfather, to name a couple. The film began with a senator being assassinated. The killer was chased by 3 CIA agents up onto the top of the Space Needle, 605 feet above the ground. The agents were played by my father, Fred Scheiwiller, and myself. As the killer struggled to escape, the CIA agents closed in from opposing sides. In the film, the killer either slipped or was thrown off the Space Needle by the agents, a story point intentionally not clear. It was a crazy location. The roof was sloped almost 45 degrees and had just been painted with a slick white enamel paint. The wind was blowing about 60 miles an hour. Before the stunt was done, we checked and rechecked the 6 pieces of plywood that we had rigged in place inside the restaurant below and secured them to the safety platform outside the restaurant. They stuck out into the space below the roofline, not visible to the camera. Rigging. It was a stunt itself. I looked at Chuck Waters, the stuntman playing the killer, and asked him if he was ready. He nodded, then I looked at my father and gave him a thumbs up. He glanced at the camera crew and Howard Koch Jr., the first assistant, who were all tied off with safety lines around the open hatch to the roof, and shouted, "We're ready." Seconds later, Chuck was tumbling down the roof and off out into space, 605 feet off the ground, appearing to fall to his death as the agent stopped just short of the edge. What the audience didn't see was that when Chuck left the roof and dropped out of sight, he actually dropped 8 feet, hit the plywood, and bounced back up into the air, back inside the restaurant. As I look back on it, it was one of the strangest gags I've been involved with. The major car sequences were filmed in Burlington, Washington, Los Angeles, and Pico Rivera. I doubled Warren for the entire movie. The driving sequence started at a house in Topanga Canyon in Woodland Hills. The next location was in a logging yard in Washington. Then I did the car jump in Woodland Hills, from Mulholland down to Topanga Boulevard. The sequence ended with the car weaving through traffic in Woodland Hills, the car crashing through the front of a supermarket in Pico Rivera. When I arrived at the location in Pico Rivera, the special effects man approached me and said the location that had been chosen had an issue. The front entrance was 3 inches narrower than the car, and on each side there was a metal I-beam inside the brick and concrete. The only option I could see was to shoot down a set of 2x12s on each side of the entrance, creating a funnel outside the glass doors. If I was off by inches, it would deflect me back to the center. The idea was to come in hot and stomp the brakes at the point of impact. When I did the stunt, the car seemed to stop for a split second at the point of impact, then pop through the glass doors like a champagne cork into the market. Stunt people dove clear as glass exploded in and rained down. Cut was called, the medic came out and checked everyone. The stunt went exactly as planned. Suddenly, there was a commotion at the back of the market. 4 crew members were moving towards me carrying Warren Beatty. As they passed me, I could see that the top of his head and face was covered in blood. Warren looked up at me and muttered, "Good job." The next day, it appeared in Variety in Army Archerd's column. Warren had been hurt watching his stunt double do a stunt. Warren had been upstairs in the manager's office watching the stunt. He was so startled by the car bursting through the entrance that he jumped up and hit his head on the top of the window frame of the office. 10 stitches, the only injury on the film.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.